Hello, my loves, and welcome to the show. Today we're off on a European adventure, but darling, not the kind with tiny umbrellas in cocktails and dodgy sunburns. No, we're talking about the top 10 countries in Europe that are absolutely smashing it when it comes to the high life. Now, when I say high life, I'm not just talking about champagne wishes and caviar dreams, darling, although I'm sure a bit of that goes on. We're talking about excellent quality of life. Healthcare that doesn't require a second mortgage, education systems that churn out geniuses, and just overall well-being, you know, that feeling of I woke up like this. And by this, I mean fantastic. So buckle up, my little croissants, because we're about to dive into the countries where the living is easy, the cheese is delicious, and the only drama you'll find is in the opera house. First up, we're off to Switzerland, a country so beautiful they put it on a chocolate bar. And let's be honest, if you're going to be judged by anything, it might as well be delicious chocolate, right? But Switzerland, darling, is so much more than just a pretty wrapper. We're talking stunning scenery that looks like it's straight out of a fairy tale. Healthcare that's the envy of the world, and a quality of life that's higher than a Swiss Alp. They've got it all. Sparkling clean cities, charming villages, and more fondue than you can shake a ski pole at. Honestly, the only downside I can see is the possibility of yodeling becoming annoying after a while, but I'm willing to risk it. Next, we're sailing off to Norway, a country so magical it makes you believe in fairy tales. And I'm not just talking about the ones with trolls and princesses, although they've got those too, darling. Norway is all about that real-life fairy tale, a strong social welfare system that catches you if you fall, a GDP per capita that's higher than a Viking's longboat, and natural beauty that will take your breath away. Think majestic fjords, those shimmering waterways cutting through towering cliffs, the northern lights putting on a dazzling show just for you, and cozy cabins where you can curl up by the fire with a good book and a mug of hot cocoa. Honestly, the only stressful decision you'll have to make in Norway is whether to go hiking, skiing, or fishing first. Hold on to your hats, loves, because we're off to Denmark, the land of hygge and happy people. Now, for those of you who haven't experienced the joy of hygge yet, just imagine this. Cozy nights in with candles flickering, good friends, good food, and absolutely no drama. That's hygge, darling, and it's basically the Danish way of life, but it's not just the hygge that makes Denmark so fabulous. They've also got top-notch public services, a fantastic work-life balance that would make even the busiest bee jealous, and a level of happiness that's higher than a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale ending. Plus, they've got pastries, darling, and not just any pastries, but those delicious, flaky, melt-in-your-mouth creations that dreams are made of. Next stop, Sweden, where the Vikings are now tech geniuses. The furniture comes flat-packed and the social welfare system is so good it's practically a national treasure. Sweden, my loves, is all about that progressive lifestyle where everyone is equal, everyone has opportunities, and everyone looks effortlessly chic. But don't be fooled by the minimalist design and cool exterior, darling, because beneath the surface beats a heart of pure warmth and generosity. Plus, they've got stunning archipelagos, those little islands scattered along the coast like jewels, forests that are practically bursting with fairy tale creatures, maybe, and enough meatballs to satisfy even the hungriest Viking. Hold on to your reindeer, because we're off to Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes, saunas in every backyard, and an education system that's the envy of the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. Finland, isn't it a bit cold and dark? Well, yes, darling, it can be, but that's what the saunas are for. And trust me, once you've experienced the pure bliss of sweating it out in a traditional Finnish sauna, then jumping into an icy lake, or rolling in the snow if you're feeling brave, you'll understand why the Finns are some of the happiest people on earth. Plus, they've got that incredible sisu spirit, a kind of gritty determination that helps them overcome any obstacle. Get your bicycles ready, loves, because we're pedaling off to the Netherlands, a country so flat you could cycle from one end to the other without breaking a sweat. But don't let the lack of hills fool you, darling, because the Netherlands is anything but boring. We're talking fields of tulips that will make your heart sing, charming windmills that look like they've jumped straight out of a storybook, and a culture of tolerance and acceptance that's as refreshing as a glass of Dutch beer on a summer day. Plus, they've got canals, darling, those picturesque waterways, winding through cities and towns, just begging to be explored by boat. Hold on to your lederhosen, because we're off to Germany, a country that's got it all. A strong economy that could rival a well-oiled machine, a quality of life that's as smooth as a good German beer, and a history so rich and complex it would make your head spin. But don't worry, darling, you don't need to be a history buff to appreciate Germany. Just picture yourself sipping a cold beer in a bustling beer garden, surrounded by good company and the aroma of sizzling sausages. Or imagine strolling through charming medieval towns with their cobblestone streets and half-timbered houses, feeling like you've stepped back in time. Pack your dirndl and your finest strudel appetite, because we're waltzing off to Austria, the land of Mozart, mountains, and a standard of living that's higher than the Alps. Austria, my dears, is like that elegant, sophisticated friend who always looks effortlessly put together, even when they're just popping out for a loaf of bread. But don't be fooled by the refined exterior, darling, because beneath the surface beats a heart of pure fun. We're talking world-class skiing in the winter, stunning hiking trails in the summer, and enough palaces and castles to satisfy even the most demanding royal. Get ready for an adventure, loves, because we're off to Iceland, where the landscape is as dramatic as a Viking saga. The Northern Lights put on a show that would make a drag queen jealous, and the social welfare system is so good it's practically a geothermal wonder. Iceland, my dears, is proof that you don't need sunshine to be happy. They've got glaciers, geysers, hot springs, and enough natural beauty to make you forget all about your Instagram feed. Well, almost. Last but not least, we're off to Luxembourg, a country so small you could walk across it in a day. But don't let the size fool you, darling, because Luxembourg is bursting with charm, culture, and a GDP per capita that's higher than a Luxembourg banker's bonus. We're talking fairy tale castles perched on hilltops, charming villages nestled in valleys, and a quality of life that's as sweet as a Luxembourg cake. Plus, it's perfectly positioned for exploring the rest of Europe, so you can hop on a train and be in Paris, Brussels, or Amsterdam in just a few hours. And there you have it, my loves, the top 10 countries in Europe where the living is easy, the scenery is stunning, and the only thing you'll have to worry about is which delicious pastry to try next. Thanks for joining me on this whirlwind tour of European bliss. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which country you're adding to your travel bucket list. Until next time, my darlings, happy travels.